IIM Indore is setting CAT 2026. Should you be worried? Imagine walking into CAT 2026, you open the paper expecting something similar to CAT 2025. But halfway through the exam, you realize the paper just feels completely different. Sounds scary? Well, history says it can happen because CAT 2026 is being conducted by IIM Indore. And every single time IIM Indore has conducted CAT, they've introduced something that changed the exam forever. So today, let's look at all the previous CAT papers conducted by IIM Indore and understand what they could mean for CAT 2026. Let's go back to 2013. This was only the 5th computer-based CAT exam and IIM Indore decided not to play it safe. Many aspirants still remember CAT 2013 as one of the toughest computer-based CAT papers ever conducted. The exam had 60 questions, 140 minutes and only 2 sections. No sectional time limit, and the 2 sections were Quant and DI combined and VA and LR combined. Now here's what made the paper memorable. The Quant section wasn't impossible, but it was definitely challenging. There were around 3 to 4 straightforward questions that every serious aspirant should have solved. The remaining questions demanded strong concepts and careful selection. The RC passages were lengthy and dense. The questions weren't direct. You had to understand what the author's intent was rather than simply just locating the answers. Logical reasoning mainly consisted of arrangements, logic puzzles, making it a moderate section overall. The biggest lesson from CAT 2013, IIM Indore wasn't afraid to test conceptual understanding instead of speed. Just 1 year later, in 2014, IIM Indore surprised everyone again. Instead of making the paper similar, they completely changed the format. The total questions increased drastically from 60 questions to 100. The duration also increased from 140 minutes to 170 minutes, while the exam still had only the same 2 sections. Now here's where it gets interesting. Unlike 2013, Quant became relatively more straightforward. Most questions tested fundamental concepts rather than advanced tricks. Data interpretation also wasn't extremely difficult. The surprise came in LR. There were a total of 4 LR sets, around 2 were comfortably solvable. The remaining 2 were so time consuming that the smartest strategy was simply to skip them. VARC also became easier compared to 2013, with only one RC passage being genuinely difficult. In fact, many high percentilers scored heavily because of the VRC section. Let's fast forward to 2020. The pandemic changed everything. But once again, IIM Indore delivered one of the biggest format changes in CAT history. The paper was reduced from 100 questions to just 76 questions. The exam duration dropped from 3 hours to 2 hours. And for the first time, CAT was conducted in 3 slots with 40 minutes sectional time limit. The section-wise breakup became VARC had 26 questions, DILR had 24 questions, and Quant had 26 questions. But here's the catch. Every slot had a different personality. Slot 1, very lengthy and difficult VARC, but surprisingly easy DILR and Quant. Slot 2, balanced VARC, moderately difficult DILR, moderately difficult Quant. Slot 3, easy VARC, very difficult DILR and moderately difficult Quant. RC dominated VARC with 18 questions across the 3 slots. The remaining 8 questions were VA questions consisting of para summary, para jumbles and odd one out. In Quant, arithmetic carried the highest weightage with around 10 questions, with geometry contributing around 4 questions. DILR leaned more towards logical reasoning than traditional data interpretation. Here is a summary of the 3 slots of 2020 paper at a glance. What pattern do we notice here? 2013 gave one of the toughest computer-based exams. 2014 completely changed the exam structure and increased the number of questions. 2020 reduced the duration, reduced the questions and introduced the modern 3-slot format. Every single time, IIM Indore didn't just conduct CAT, it changed CAT. And to change your CAT exam, you need to take mock tests. Start taking mock tests now and begin with Cracku's mock tests. Our mock tests have been taken by countless CAT toppers year after year and have been an integral part of their CAT journey. Don't regret not taking our mocks as they simulate the actual CAT exam very closely and help in boosting your exam confidence. Finally, if IIM Indore follows its history, CAT 2026 could be another memorable paper. If you want a complete section-wise analysis of all previous CAT papers that were conducted by IIM Indore, check out the article linked in the description. Also, let me know in the comments, do you think IIM Indore will make a CAT 2026 tougher, easier or simply different? And for more such MBA related content and updates, make sure that you're subscribed.